Hi, St. Pius. It's Mrs. Timothy. Have you been outside today? I hope so. It's beautiful out, but it's very, very windy. And it reminds me of one of my favorite children's books. It's a newer book. And we're going to talk about that today. So this is an activity that any of you kids can do. But the content that I'm going to talk about is really good for those of you that are very interested in the visual arts. So here we go. Here's my book that we're going to talk about. It's called Flora's Very Windy Day. It's by Jeannie Birdsall and it's illustrated by Matt Fallon. And I love the way that he has made the letters of the title, these letters here, he makes it look very windy. It makes it look like the letters are getting blown by the wind. That is a graphical illusion to make the letters look like they're windy. So that is one of the things I wanted to talk about today, is how the author uses lines and colors to portray, to bring across a feeling or an action, okay? So that's the cover of the book. That's the inside page. And here's one more image I wanted to look at, this one right here. See, this is Flora. And you can see all these sharp, short, strong red lines around her, right? And what do you think you can tell by those sharp, short red lines, those strong lines? If you didn't have those lines, if you're looking at this, if you didn't have those lines, it could look like she was just singing very loudly or calling out very loudly. But those sharp, blunt, strong red lines portray one emotion, and that is anger. All right, so you can use line and color to bring across emotions. So if you were to set up a little book, I have my book of lines and colors, all right, and try to think of things, colors and lines that would portray these emotions. Angry, we saw right now, you could use red colors and these strong lines to portray anger, or like jagged lines like this, right? Angry lines, right? And red is a good color for anger. I put excited on the same page because I think excited and angry are very similar emotions. They're strong, big, powerful emotions. So excited could still also be red. The lines could be a little bit less angry looking, like a firework, you know, excited, right? Big, bright colors to make excited, big, bold lines too. Here we have happy and sad. Happy colors, I think red is a happy color, and orange and like bright blues. But how about a shape or a line for happy? If you remember, I told you the happiest shape in the world is a circle. So if you were gonna make happy shapes, I would make circular shapes, because they're just happy, they make you feel good. And these happy colors, right? Circular lines, wavy lines, they're happy. There's nothing about this that makes you feel like you're angry or frustrated. They're happy lines and happy colors. Sad is almost always blue. Blue colors and lines that are almost not easy to see, because if you can imagine, when you're sad, you're crying and all the lines are blurry, right? There's no clear lines. I'm just giving you examples of what you can put down for these emotions. I want you to see if you come up with your own. Here's love and playful. Love, of course, you think of red and pink, and you think of hearts. Well, you can make a line in the shape of hearts. Instead of having a line, a straight line like this, your line could have heart shapes, right? Lines don't always have to be straight. All right. And of course, pink for love. Right? And just think of shapes that you think that people would have in their brains for love, right? Love. And then playful. Playful, of course, can be any color. It's just like love. And then the playful lines would be happy, playful lines, right? Think of a ball bouncing, how people will draw a ball bouncing and the line goes boink, 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 like that. Like it's bouncing across the ground. Or like a bumblebee. And they have the lines are like dashed lines. Like a bumblebee flying through the air. That's a playful line. All right, so what I want you to do is think about what else you would use, what colors, what lines you would use to portray emotions. You can think of other emotions too. And I'm thinking maybe that you would like to know more about Flora's Windy Day. And I will just read the story for you very quickly, all right? First of all, let's go back to this first opening pages. We have Flora and her little brother at their desk doing art. And then you see Flora and her little brother still at the desk, but Flora's little brother has knocked over the crayons and is in her work, and it makes her very angry. She says, "Mommy, Crispin spilled my paint again," shrieked Flora. "I told you to keep your paints out of his reach," said her mother. "I tried," said Flora, "but look at this mess outside, Flora, right now." I can't see my screen very well. There we go. Can you see it? All right, I'll just read it. "I can't go outside," protested Flora. "The wind is very strong and will blow me away." "Nonsense," said her mother. Flora thought for a moment. "Of course, I could wear my super special heavy-duty red boots. They'll keep me from being blown away." "Fine," said her mother, "and take Crispin with you." Now, Crispin did not have super special heavy-duty red boots to protect him from the wind. His boots were purple and couldn't do anything but keep his feet dry. Well, Flora thought, it wouldn't be her fault if Crispin flew away. See, Flora's annoyed, so she's like, it doesn't matter if he leaves, right? And her mother put Crispin in his little coat and hat and regular old purple boots. And when that was all done, Flora's mother opened the door, and Flora and Crispin stepped outside. The wind was indeed very strong that day. It pushed and pulled and twirled and twisted, but no matter how hard it blew, Flora stayed firmly on the ground. "Ha, you dumb wind," said Flora. "You can't lift me up because I'm wearing my super special heavy-duty red boots." Well, the wind did not like being laughed at. It doubled its strength and blasted mightily at Flora, but she didn't budge. "However," said Flora, "you may notice that my little brother is wearing regular old purple boots." Oh, Flora, she just threw her little brother under the bus, right? Well now, the wind tripled its strength. It swirled and swooped and whizzed and walloped, and then, oh my, Crispin was being lifted off the ground. Just a little bit at first. But the wind grew stronger, and Crispin went higher, and then higher, and then higher still. He was being blown away, and he looked very frightened. And suddenly, Flora was kicking off her super special heavy-duty red boots and spreading her coat to the wind, and oh my, she was sailing up towards Crispin. There she goes. She grabbed his hand and closed her eyes and wished she were anywhere else in the world. But soon Flora realized that being blown by the wind was comfortable, like riding on a squishy flying chair. She decided to open her eyes. And just then came by a dragonfly. "Will you give me that little boy?" asked the dragonfly. "He could polish my wings." "Silly dragonfly," scolded Flora. She knew that Crispin was too clumsy to clean such delicate wings. "He's my brother, and I'm taking him home." "Well, if the wind lets you," said the dragonfly. Flora and Crispin flew on and on until they came upon a sparrow. "Would you give me that little boy?" asked the sparrow. "He could sit on my eggs." "What a mess that would be," said Flora, as if Crispin could sit on eggs without breaking them. "He's my brother, and I'm taking him home." "Well, if the wind lets you," said the sparrow. Look at that. Crispin and Flora flew on and on until they came upon a rainbow. "Would you give me the little boy?" asked the rainbow. "He could guard my pot of gold." Gold! That was tempting. But, thought Flora, Crispin not fierce enough to guard anything. "No, he's my brother, and I'm taking him home." "Well, if the wind lets you," said the rainbow. Flora and Crispin flew on and on until they came upon a cloud. Will you give me that little boy? Asked the cloud. He could squeeze out my raindrops. Flora thought that squeezing out raindrops sounded like fun. But Crispin would surely catch a cold, and then who would help him with his nose? No, I won't give him to you. He's my brother, and I'm taking him home. If the wind lets you, said the cloud. Flora and Crispin flew on until they came upon an eagle. Would you give me that boy? Said the eagle. He could sharpen my talons. You can't fool me, Flora said. She saw the hungry look in the eagle's eye. He's my brother, and I'm taking him home. If the wind lets you, said the eagle. Crispin and Flora flew on and on till they came upon the man in the moon. Would you give me the little boy? Said the man in the moon. It's lonely up here, and he could keep me company. The man in the moon had a kind face, and he did look awfully lonely. But there was no chocolate chip cookies on the moon, and Crispin was so fond of chocolate chip cookies. I'm sorry, but I can't, said Flora. He's my brother, and I'm taking him home. Well, if the wind lets you, said the man in the moon. Flora stomped her foot, or would have, if there had been anything to stomp on. I'm tired of hearing that. Why wouldn't the wind let us go home? Well, you should ask him, said the man in the moon. Flora hadn't thought of that. Wind, would you let us go home? I'll let you go home as soon as we find the right spot for Crispin, replied the wind. You do want to get rid of him, right? Yes, I did. Flora wasn't sure what she meant. But I could use him myself, said the wind. You know, work my bellows. No, thank you, said Flora, finally decided. I should take him home. My mother wouldn't like it if I left him, or if I lost him. Well, if that's what you really want, said the wind. Yes, please, said Flora. And so the wind turned Flora and Crispin around and blew them home. Flora put on her super special heavy-duty red boots back on, then straightened Crispin's hair and brushed a shred of rainbow from his coat. She rang the doorbell, and her mother opened the door. I decided to bring Crispin back, Flora told her. From what? Asked her mother. From the moon, said Flora. Nonsense, said her mother. Now come inside. I've made chocolate chip cookies. And there they are, eating chocolate chip cookies. And you can see that Flora hugs her little brother. The end. See, even Flora wouldn't let her annoying little brother go. When you love someone, you might get annoyed at them, but you still stick with them. So I'll see you tomorrow, St. Pius. Have a wonderful day. It's windy out there.